Good evening, my fellow weirdos. So, it is Thursday evening. I've been watching, I just found his channel, looking for somebody that my gut resonated with, for the Snap information, updating what's happening. Because it's changing every freaking hour sometimes. They're like, you have to pay it. The judges keep saying that. Trump's like, okay, we'll pay it. No, we're not. Oh, we found extra money. We can actually pay it all. Oh, we're not even going to pay half. And they're like, you have to fucking pay it. You have to pay it by Monday. You have to pay it by Wednesday. And they're like, we're not effing joking. It needs... Smudgy kicked off my water bottle. I'm like, why the hell push that off? And then I see Smudgy in there. Anyway, and this channel, Blind to Billionaire, he's a blind guy apparently. Duh. And he's been covering this. Okay, so last thing yesterday afternoon was, oh, they're going to be doing it, but it's going to be, some of the people might not get it if their income is more than the poverty line, they're not going to get it, and all this crap. And then apparently just like 2 hours ago, maybe an hour ago, the news is now, yes, they have the effing money. It's always there. It's just being released because they're out of session. That's because they're protecting pedophiles. That's because if they go in session, the Democrat Gonzalez that has been waiting 35 days or whatever, 30 to get sworn in, more or whatever, she will be the triggering vote, the triggering signature as soon as she's sworn in officially. She can't even work for her constituents because she doesn't have an email because she's not official. Her people, they don't have any money, any access to any of the monies for the office, for anything. If she, when she gets sworn in, she's already said she's signing the petition to force the release of the Epstein files. This is why Snap hasn't been funded. I fucking kid you not. This is the gymnastics Michael Johnson Grinder is doing for Donald rapist pedophile Trump to hide the Epstein files. Why do you think that is? Gee, let me think. The good news, all people on Snap recipients right now will be getting not the partial, supposedly the full amount, starting. It does depend on the states, because like some states have a smaller amount of recipients and they typically just send them on the first. Some are like between the first and the third, like Jersey, between the first and the fifth, normally the fifth. Some states that have a lot of recipients, it might be like between the first and the 10th that you get your stamps. Because I guess they just can't all process them all in that amount of time. But tomorrow, he said, might be a push, since it was just at the end of the business day that that they were given no other ultimatum. This is what's going to be happening. I think the Republicans, this is just me now, I think the Republicans are ready to admit defeat. They are not going to bully us. And even the recipients are saying, do not back down. I know I made some videos this today saying, don't you dare back down with those guys. They know that we out in the streets, us activists, creators, doing reels and shorts and videos, TikTok, YouTube, we informed, we did our job. We countered Republican Nazi publicans and all their lies, all their desperate lies they kept trying to force on you guys, you didn't believe them because you saw that we had not been lying all along. The only thing they had left was go back to the Democrats, the politicians, and say, we're not kidding, we're going to keep it up, we're going to let you die, and then we'll take the health care. And from what I heard yesterday, that they're seeing us start to struggle, knowing it's in the month of Thanksgiving of all times, the month that's the only holiday really centered around food. You're giving thanks for having the food. Kind of hard when all the SNAP recipients aren't. They knew it would not bode well for them now that the public was quite aware whose the fault of the government shutdown was. Them. It blew up in their faces. They will open the government, I'm pretty sure, shortly, because they didn't work. They tried pressuring their own people, the 7 that signed on to release the files. They tried to get even just one. That's what they were doing the first few weeks. Even just one to pull their signature back. Then he could have opened the government, sworn in Grijalva, and she would have signed it, and it wouldn't have forced, because they needed that one. They weren't successful. The actual Republicans that held out, like Bober and Green, I know. I'm saying that. Green and Boebert and the other 5 stood strong and would not change their vote. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. What the F? I'll tell you why. Because Green and Boebert and those other 5 started realizing, I was going to run again, and everybody knows that we were lying about. Oh God, I better fight for them now because I'm looking for re-election. Really? Amazing how the truth sets so many people free. Even when everybody doesn't tell the truth. The ones that are just need to be very loud and very repetitive. And I'd make the same video over and over in different clothes. Because a lot of us didn't relent. Several times a week, it's like, so this, that, and the other, and how's the Epstein file going? So, as of an hour or 2 ago, this Blind to Billionaire channel, they are funding all of it. They're not choosing, just the ones that are below poverty level are going to get it. Everybody should be getting them. Like I said, tomorrow's a stretch to hope for. Maybe some of the states that have less will get them all tomorrow. But starting, he said, definitely, well, that was earlier. It should be starting by Friday. Definitely by Saturday, they should be in. I checked mine, but we have like 827,000 people on Snap. So, and it doesn't go alphabetical order. Either way, like, my last name is at the first 5 letters of the alphabet. And yet, I'm on the last day, because New Jersey gives them between the 1st and the 5th. Because you can only do so many per day. So they can't process 827,000 or whatever is in one day or 2. It takes 5 days to be processing that amount. So that kind of makes sense. So, of course, mine wasn't there. But who knows? It could be processed. It just depends how fast they want to get to it. Considering the fact that we're a blue state, and generally the Democrat governors are more than likely going to try to get it out as fast as possible and not dawdle like maybe some of the red state governors could perhaps do. Some of the ones that have an especially mean streak, like Florida or Texas guys, the assholes who just like to see people suffer, even if it's just for an extra day, just to be an extra prick. Yeah. Uh, so, uh, that's the best I know now. That's the most updated. And he's always been, this whole week, he's been very guarded. Every time he gets on, he's like, I'm not holding up too much hope, because you know how but they've tried countering it, and the courts are abso-fucking-lutely not. We said what we said, and he's like, well, and their response is, we said what we said. So, yeah. I hope that helps some of you. I'm not counting on it, but it helps me a little bit to not be in the forefront every time I look at something. You see a food commercial, you're like, oh God, I can't go shopping. It just, when you're SNAP dependent, it's like if the housing vouchers, you'd be risk losing your residents. It's the same thing if the housing vouchers were just decided to be done away with, just poof. And like I was saying earlier, people are like, well, why are you on SNAP for many years? Let me explain something to you. A lot of us on Social Security, it was sold to us for decades as, you put every week, you put into it from your saving, from your money, but all of that money will be garnering interest. So, because we were like, well, if we put only so much aside, it's not going to be cost of living. This is when it was started. And they're like, no, because if you have a lot, everybody's money, little bits of money, like a savings account, all together, it's going to generate interest incredibly, which is true. And that would probably keep up over time, because as it rolls over, it gathers more and more higher amounts, percentages of interest, which would keep up with the cost of living. Do you know I'm on the lower end of what I get for Social Security, and it's $1,100, I think 40 or something like that a month? Yeah. Do you know what minimum wage, a full-time minimum wage job, once the taxes, that gets about $2,450. Let's just say $400, you're getting $2,000. You're getting pretty much twice. A full-time minimum wage job worker is still making twice what I get on Social Security. And that is because many, many decades ago, like during the Reagan or whatever, and they wanted to take, I even forget what it was, a whole fucking piss load of the Social Security money that was sitting there doing nothing, but it was gathering interest to keep up with the cost of living over the decades. They said, oh, no, we'll use it, and then we'll get it back. By the time they're ready to draw, benefits, we'll have it all back in there. But they failed, and people said, what about the interest? Don't worry, we'll get it back. That's why we're getting half of what a minimum wage job would pay in a month. So when people say, well, you should budget better, you knew you were going to be relying on Social Security. Yes, but Social Security was supposed to be at least twice of what we're getting now, because they took the money, never got it back in time at all. So it didn't gather all that interest, and so they didn't have more to draw on. So they had to lower the payments. So cost of living not 2 years ago or something, went up 6.4%. We got a 3.2% raise. That's not even keeping level with the last year. That's falling behind a couple, 2 or 3 years of that. How fucking far behind are we falling? Minimum. It's not that we didn't budget or plan. You said we were going to be able to, because they would keep it up because of the interest, but you never put it back in, so we never got the interest. So we're fucking paying for it, and we're being gaslit for it. So don't be fucking judgmental about you lazy, you this, you fucking that. Sick of it. I look for bargains, I scramble, I trade, whatever. To afford what you fucking see here on half of what a minimum wage job pays. How much fucking smarter do you want me to be with money? Most people don't get this far. And I don't have a car, and I have a fucked up foot and wrist. And if I'm like to the protests, to the overpasses, I bring my walker with a chair. Because probably 75% of the time, I'm in it. Because I have to be. But I'm still in it on the street. How much more is people supposed to do when the government fucking lied, gaslit, and then is making you pay for it? For them fucking being inefficient. So before you people get on your motherfucking high horses about people being on welfare, and the welfare queens, and the SNAP kings, and SNAP queens, and zip it. Fucking zip it. Because you don't know how little they give most of us. And they try to fucking snap you out of that too. They try to fucking finagle you as much as they can out of that little. So zip your fucking lips about your judgmental people on TikTok. And I'm glad Peanut Butter Toast Lady lost her fucking one of her 2 jobs she claims to have. I am sick of you fucking judgmental people yapping about shit when you don't know the full story. And then accusing and gaslighting those of us, like me, who aren't getting paid livable. We have to buy the processed foods. She's wrong. Processed foods are cheaper because it's a bunch of crap with no nutritional value filling up half of the good food. That shit's cheaper. She's fucking stupid. When you can't buy healthy foods because it's more expensive buying fresh vegetables and fruit than it is to buy a can, you're not getting the proper nutrition over a long period of time when you have to buy that shit, which leads to health issues. So fucking zip your lip.